have reserved seats in here? Hello, hello there.
Yes.
See your fashion, beautiful. You have two songs. Well, it's right in the center. Really. You have reserved seats in here. You're sitting with the foundation. I know, nobody knows. So.
Well,
You are. Hey Chad, are you going to be standing?
The way you did. Yeah, I think she read a telegram on it.
We're getting tight in here. Come with me. Yeah. I know I heard every day. You're just I'm ready. Whatever. Thank you so much. I think we're going to grab it. I'm sorry. I apologize. Are you? What's that? Can you take him to Jeannie and tell her to put him? Jeannie is. I cannot put him in the biology lab. Thank you. How are you? As far as I Kelly, it's nice to be very nice to meet you. Love you. You can't get to your seat.
You
right
got
now.
my speech written in here?
You got it up here, right?
Short and sweet and to the point.
I like it.
I knew I could count.
I just keep taking deep breaths. That's right. Yeah, that was on a TV show or something. My husband loves that sometimes. He cracks me up. He doesn't make me laugh. Well, I know. You know I will I speak off the cuff and I know On Monday, I was at a kindergarten, and it got with all the even it got so I just got out there and started everything. I don't care what it was.
They all get moldy, did it? All that green.
Like, who's the prettiest? That's how I spent my
May, 2 weeks then.
Try to get started.
You're in charge, buddy.
We will sit down. We will take our seats.
Thank you. All right. Put me on the left. So
what's the verdict?
He said start. He'll understand. Senator Van Hollen will understand. Just start, and we'll work him in when he gets here. Okay. How are you? Get on me. I must have come on the other side. Yes. I'm the Brian. Haven't seen you for a long time. Take it to me, Don. Chair.
And he's also a Hubzone company under AP. Were you at our event or not again? Up at GCSTEM.
Good morning. Good morning. We are going to try to get started in just a couple of minutes, so if everyone could take their seats, please.
You don't know how far out.
Just Ching.
Oh, he's walking in. Senator Van Hollen is walking in.
He's walking in.
Oh, great.
There was they closed 68.
Yeah, so I'm getting out of the car.
Okay.
Right after you, Paul.
We know there was an accident on Route 68 that's backed up traffic a little bit. Senator Van Hollen just got here, so we're going to start in just a couple of minutes. So thank you for your patience.
That's a crazy environment. How the prospects for long-term peace. This building is fantastic. This is great.
Yeah, it is. It's a really nice resource and helps us attract a better class of students. Community college situation is tough. There are always challenges. We've pretty much taken everybody down there. We've got a lot of great programs they're developing, and they've got a wonderful robotics program up here in high schools, and we hope to transfer that.
Senator, how are you? All right.
Hello, how are you?
You are right over here. Good morning. I'm Rich Midcap, president of Garrett College. I'm pleased to welcome everyone to the grand opening ceremonies for Garrett College's Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics building. This is an important day for Garrett College as we open a state-of-the-art facility that we believe will enhance our ability to provide students in STEM-related fields with a high-quality education. This building features 4 versatile classrooms, including the one we're in, along with labs dedicated to physics and earth sciences, chemistry and microbiology, engineering and robotics, and biology. There are wonderful student spaces that will encourage informal learning and sharing, and a faculty wing that will facilitate cooperative teamwork. After the official program, I encourage everyone in attendance to visit our STEM faculty, who will be conducting several interesting demonstrations, and to take the self-guided tour aided by our tour sheets available throughout the building. As we move through the program, I will be introducing the federal, state, and local government leaders whose commitment made this capital project possible. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the many faculty and staff who took part in a broad-based design committee whose work resulted in the facility we are unveiling today. Kathy Mayer, our Capitals Project Director, for whom the STEM building has been a real labor of love, could not be here today, but deserves special recognition for her leadership in bringing this project to fruition. Other design team members include Matt Bernard, Krista Bowser, Carolyn Denneker, Linda Griffith, Hugh Schreier, Eric Swearingen, Jim Allen, Randy Bittinger, Linda Fike, Sarah Garrett, Julie Yoder, Ching Yuan, Shauna McQuaid, Stacy Holler, Denise Friend, Phil Malone, Shelley Manier, Paul Rashed, and Chuck Troutwine. As you can see, we did indeed put together a broad-based team to design this facility. I would also like to thank Mike Logston, who worked with my office to coordinate today's event, and Marcia Knepp, my executive assistant, whose organizational and event skills have been tapped once more for today's grand opening. I would also like to thank our marketing department, coordinator Stacy Holler, graphic designer Chad Yoder, and web designer David Lance for all of their STEM-related work, as well as Mike Tumbarello, Christine Uphole, Holly Montana, and Melissa Wass in enrollment management, and registrar Kim DiGiovanni. While Dr. Ewan will be introducing our STEM faculty later in the program, I do want to acknowledge them collectively for the time and hard work they put in over the summer to make the move into the STEM building possible. I would also like to recognize our terrific facilities team in general, with special recognition to Hugh Schreier and Eric Swearingen in particular for their leadership on the facility side. Our entire IT department also deserves acknowledgement for their work right up to yesterday to make sure the technology in this technology-rich building was ready. I also want to acknowledge representatives of our architect, Grimm & Parker Architects, and our general contractor, Harbell Construction. Grimm & Parker's Rick Morrison served as project manager, and Brian Walbridge and Greg Overcamp as project architects. Representing Harbell Construction today are owners Carl and Jane Belt and Adam Stern, project manager. Thank you for everything you've brought to this project. I would also like to recognize Daily Computers president Ryan Yu and his wife Margaret Chow. Their $20,000 gift for STEM scholarships, $5,000 to the STEM fund, and contribution of 3 state-of-the-art laptops to high-performing Garrett College students are both aiding student access and providing cutting-edge technology. There are other highly valued partners I would like to recognize. Ron Nowacek, president of Frostburg State University, is here today, along with Garrett County Superintendent of Schools Barbara Baker, County Administrator Kevin Knoll, Economic Development Director Mike Huff, Gears founder and GC Robotics team coach Phil Malone, Garrett County Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Nicole Christian. I want to note that our education, county government, and community and business partners are very important to Garrett College. I thank you all for being here today. It's just one more example of the collaboration that takes place in Garrett County. I would also like to acknowledge members of the Garrett College Board of Trustees who are with us today, starting with Don Morin, our board chair. Don will be speaking momentarily. I'd also like to recognize our vice chair, Brenda McCartney, Ms. Vian Bell, Ms. Madeline Collins, Mr. Jason Rush, and Mr. Dwayne Yoder. I appreciate your attendance here today and support throughout this project phase. I'd also like to acknowledge the members of the Garrett College Foundation Board who are here today: Julia Hoffman, Walt Malecki, Carissa Rodeheaver, Dr. Rosemary Verstegen, and Lori Yaus. Lastly, I would like to recognize my two immediate predecessors. President Rick McLennan led us through the state and local approval processes, while acting President Al Coviello guided the college through the building design period. I appreciate the contributions of both Rick and Al to this project. I would now like to introduce our board chair, Mr. Don Morin, who will speak on behalf of the Board of Trustees.
I promised my wife I wouldn't go off script, but because she edited my remarks. But an occasion like this really makes you appreciate how blessed we are to live in a small community with so many people who contribute to the overall effort. The College Board of Trustees extends a warm welcome and thanks everyone for attending this event and celebrate the grand opening of the STEM facility. The state of Maryland and Garrett County each contributed 50% of the $8.5 million required to transform the continuing ed building into the STEM building. The ARC contributed grant funding that allowed the college to purchase state-of-the-art equipment, mostly a 3D virtual dissection table. The table features 4 digital human cadavers, providing a realism not possible with the standard dissection aids, and making Garrett one of the first colleges and the only college in the state of Maryland with this technology. I'm sure the rest will be catching up soon. We're privileged to welcome both Senator Ben Cardin and Senator Chris Van Hollen, who were instrumental in securing the ARC grant funding. Bill Atkinson, ARC's Maryland Program Manager, also provided his support, but is unable to join us today. I'd also like to recognize State Senator George Edwards and Representative Delegate Wendell Beitzel, who played a key role in acquiring state funding. Kelly Schultz, Secretary of Labor, Licensing, and Regulation, has also been a champion for this project, and we thank her for attending today. We're also pleased to have with us our county commissioners, who strongly supported the more than $4 million in local funding required for this project: Commissioner Paul Edwards, Jim Heinbaugh, and Commissioner Larry Tichenal. Thank you for your commitment to this project. The STEM building is another vital resource for our faculty and students. We look forward to preparing our students in science, technology, engineering, and math for valuable, rewarding, and productive careers.
I'd like to thank Liz Marin for keeping Don on script. He's my boss. I couldn't really tell him that. It's now my honor to introduce U.S. Senator Ben Cardin, the youngest elected Speaker of the Maryland House of Delegates. He went on to serve 2 decades in the U.S. House of Representatives before his election to the United States Senate in 2006. He's the ranking member of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee and a senior member of both the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and the Environment and Public Works Committee. Please welcome Senator Cardin to the podium.
Dr. Midcap, first of all, congratulations. This is an incredible day. Don, thank you for staying on script. There is no script for a United States Senator, so we have to be pretty flexible in our business, but it really is a pleasure to be here. This is an incredible moment, the STEM building being opened here at Garrett College. Incredible asset to the state of Maryland and to this region. So congratulations to all the partners. It's good to be here with my friend and colleagues, Senator Van Hollen. The two of us have the honor of representing Western Maryland, the whole state of Maryland, in the United States Senate, along with John Delaney in the House of Representatives. And I say that because this is a partnership. But first, let's talk about how this got done and how you're able to do this. And congratulations to your state team for getting the resources from the state of Maryland. To your county team, congratulations on that partnership. Couldn't be done without the county, couldn't be done without the state. And we're proud of the role that ARC played in being able to have the only 3D virtual dissection table of any college in the state of Maryland. When I saw that, first I wanted to find out what it was. And then I realized that how valuable that is. And I was thinking about, how fortunate we are to have these incredible STEM facilities in Maryland, now at Garrett College, at this unique capacity. And Maryland understands the importance of STEM. I was recently at the Board of Visitors meeting of the Naval Academy on their new cyber building, which is state-of-the-art here in the state of Maryland. College Park and engineering. Allegheny College and their capacity in the STEM fields, which we've been able to see. This is the economic future of our country, and Garrett College has that capacity here in a small rural county, maybe a large rural county geographically, but in population small. So we are proud of the role that the federal government played, and it was not without struggle. We know that the president's budget zeroed out the ARC program, zeroed out EDA, and Senator Van Hollen, Congressman Delaney, and myself, working with Republicans, Democrats and Republicans together, got that funding restored. And we're pleased because I think some of it was education. We are pleased that the Trump administration put the money in the budget this year. So, it's a learning process, but working together, we showed the value of the ARC program, not just to the western part of our state and to the Appalachia region, but to our country. And yesterday in the Environment and Public Works Committee, I was talking to the person who's going to head up the northern region commission, which deals with the rural parts of the northern part of our state, northern part of our country. And I told them they could learn from the ARC. So we are forming these partnerships, working together to get things done. The bottom line, I love Garrett County. I think I've told you the story many times, George. I've been coming here since my children were small. Harrington Manor is one of my favorite places. Ski at Wisk. This is a great area, but you need to have the right facilities for its economic future. And Garrett College is critically important. This facility will be incredibly valuable in so many different fields. I saw the robotics competition here a few years ago and was marveled at the ability to win contests here in this county. This building will help you in so many of the science, technology, and engineering and math fields that will allow your students to be competitive in any field that they want to go in that's going to be important for your future. Congratulations. Well done.
I'm a little sorry now I mentioned the 3D dissection table. Ron Nowacek, if I know him, by Monday, Frostburg will have a 3D dissection table. So I would now like to introduce U.S. Senator Chris Van Hollen. Prior to his election to the Senate in 2016, Senator Van Hollen served 14 years in the U.S. House of Representatives, where he also served as a member of the Democratic leadership. Please welcome Senator Van Hollen.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much to Don Moran and the board. Congratulations for your great stewardship and oversight here at Garrett College. Dr. Midcap, thank you and your very talented team of faculty and staff, which is really the lifeblood of a college like this. So I want to thank all of you who are part of this and the students who are participating. And it is a very special honor to be here today to take this next step for Garrett College in making sure your students and members of the community have access to cutting-edge STEM tools. And this is going to be, as Senator Cardin said, a great opportunity for people to get those life skills and workforce skills that allow them to get good paying jobs in our community. And it is a great treat to be here with my friend and fellow Senator Ben Cardin, and to represent this area with John Delaney. And I wanted to be here especially because Garrett College, and you know this, but I think the rest of the state does not necessarily know this, and we need to spread, has really been a pioneer when it comes to opening the doors of college to every one of its residents. You were a pioneer in starting and launching the scholarship program back in 2006, first providing county-funded scholarship programs for high school students who wanted to pursue their post-secondary education. You did that back in 2006, and then you took the next step to make sure that that program was expanded to include those pursuing non-credit training aimed at developing trade and vocational skills. And I think the country is learning that we need to provide that full spectrum of skill building and training to make sure that people succeed. So you really have been pioneers in the state, building that wave for the future. And I want to salute the commissioners for extending that vision that was launched back in 2006 and continuing to build on it with this STEM building and your other commitments. So to Chairman Paul Edwards, congratulations. And to the commissioners Heinbaugh and Tichnell, and to the whole team, really, you have helped show the way in the state of Maryland. In fact, the rest of the state, as you probably know, adopted at the state level the Promise legislation, really to build upon your ideas. I know you got to figure out how to fit the two together, but that was really following the kind of leadership and aspirations that you had here in Garrett College and Garrett County. And I do see my friend George Edwards. Thank you for your leadership. We served together back in the day in the state Senate, and he is somebody who, as all of you know, has always put this community first and really worked very hard, as has Delegate Beitzel. So thank you for your leadership, a great team. And Secretary Schultz, it's great to see you. And the state of Maryland and the governor, obviously, were full partners in building this facility, and it does require partnership. I just want to end by, again, emphasizing the fact that Senator Cardin and I have been very pleased to work on a number of funding efforts to support Western Maryland and Garrett County. The ARC funding that helped provide this 3D technology, and I must say, I'm like all of you. I read this and I want to see it. I want to see it. You know, it's probably better to work on a cadaver through this way than live. But the programs here through that ARC funding are really important. And it's a fact that last year the White House did not include that funding, but on a bipartisan basis on the Appropriations Committee, we're not only providing steady funding for ARC, but expanding it. And if you look at this facility with the facilities for chemistry and biology and engineering and robotics, I went past this room and there's a big sign on the blackboard saying, "Do not enter." It's like under fear of execution. So I guess I know the competition is going to be here. That is, for those of you who haven't seen this robotics competition for the games, it's really cool. So I guess we can see behind the curtain a little later. But it really does require everybody coming together to do this. And the ARC funding has been an important sort of glue that's helped with a lot of economic development projects. Senator Cardin and I also worked together to get a fund recently for Garrett community for high-speed internet to be placed at one of your community centers. It was from the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, $2.3 million grant. That access to high-speed internet is also really important. So it's great to be here. Garrett County may be at the end of the Maryland Panhandle, but we wanted to know you're still top of mind for all of us. And obviously, as we gather here at a community college, when we say top of mind, we mean also providing those tools that allow your students and your residents to get the very best education so that they can succeed and pursue their dreams and aspirations. And that's good for all of us in Garrett County, the state, and the country. So thank you for having us for this important gathering.
I saw that sign this morning about keeping out. I didn't think it applied to the president, but Phil said it did, so I haven't been in there. As you know, Congressman Delaney could not be here today, but I do want to recognize and thank Mr. Kevin Mack, District Director and Field Representative to Congressman Delaney, for attending today's ceremony. Thank you so much for being here, Kevin. It's my pleasure to introduce our next speaker, Maryland Secretary of Labor, Licensing and Regulation, Kelly Schultz. Secretary Schultz is no stranger to Western Maryland, having made numerous trips here to support Western Maryland businesses. She was twice elected to the Maryland House of Delegates, representing Frederick County in District 4A, and worked in the Environmental Protection Agency under President George W. Bush. She has served in Governor Hogan's cabinet as Dollar Secretary since 2015. Secretary Schultz.
This is a pretty big day when we have two of our U.S. senators and our entire delegation from Western Maryland here. President Midcap, thank you so much for having us here today. It is a true honor to be able to be here to celebrate this. I do consider myself still a Western Marylander. I live in Frederick County, and there is controversy as to whether or not Frederick County is actually Western Maryland. I'm saying that it is. I'm on the record. I really love to be a part of this region of the beautiful state and to be able to be out here to celebrate with all of you. So first, I want to bring you greetings on behalf of Governor Hogan. He's very sorry not to be here. He did want me to come out and express his congratulations on this facility, not only this facility, but the entire gathering of the community, which we heard earlier, has come together in order to be able to create something significant. So his congratulations to you. And then when Secretary David Brinkley heard that I was coming out here today, he says, dang, his daughter is having her wedding reception today, so he can't be here. I know that he did tour the facility earlier this summer, and as the budget secretary, he's very impressed with the facility. So on behalf of the entire administration, congratulations and thanks to you all. But what does this facility mean, not only to you in the community, but what does it mean for us in the state of Maryland? And we've heard, some wonderful attributes as to what we need as far as our assets. And our assets in this state are nothing greater than the human resources that we have here in Garrett County. And there's wonderful opportunities to be had here in Garrett County and Western Maryland and all across the state. But I think what we have done in the state to be able to emphasize STEM, President Nowacek, as our number one leading industry across the board. At the Department of Labor, we cannot determine which of those industry groups, what jobs are going to actually be available for our young people in the next 10 years. But we know that STEM is going to be a part of those careers in some way, shape, or form. So for every community college, for every K through 12 educational system across the state, to be able to provide those resources to our young people is critical in the development of the workforce of the future. And Maryland takes that very seriously. We passed a law, thank you to our state delegation, the Access Initiative, which goes into making sure that each K through 12 curriculum has the needs for cybersecurity and information technology and STEM overall. So I see some young people that are in the audience today so that they can have the foundation to what they need to be for a flexible workforce of the future. because like I said, we don't know what those jobs are going to be, but we know that we need to be able to provide the opportunities for that educational base so that the flexibility can be there, so they can utilize the science, technology, and engineering and math skills that they're going to be receiving right here at Garrett College and the other colleges across the state. We see this so significantly that I've had the great opportunity to visit apprenticeship programs across the state. Has anybody here gone through a trades apprenticeship program? If you haven't, I offer the opportunity to go visit one of their classrooms. It's all STEM. I walk in and I see whiteboards just like this that is teaching our electricians, our plumbers, our HVAC tradespeople across the state every single day for what they know is they know that in their industry it's increasingly technical. Advanced manufacturing. Going into a manufacturing facility these days is all about technology, and it's all about information technology, cybersecurity. Every place you go, you're going in every industry, you're going to see the need for this type. And I just want to touch base on the rural communities. Obviously, we're out in Garrett County in Western Maryland in this rural environment. And what can our commissioners do? What can our leadership team, what can the community do in order to be able to keep and attract the young people, the resources that are homegrown here in Garrett County? We can provide them with opportunities. We can provide them with educational base. We can attract those businesses to the area because you have an educated and a skilled workforce that will be able to immediately go to work for them in this particular region. Rural areas, more than any other area, have to be in this state and across the nation dedicated and specific in skills that are going to feed into their community needs. And that's why it's so important, not only with Garrett College, but also with the partnerships with our four-year universities, our K-12 system, so everybody understands what the needs are and can move forward with the very talented workforce of the future. So on behalf of the entire administration, thank you. Thank you for being a valuable partner for us and all of our programs that we're working on in order to be able to help you with your talent and to grow your communities. And I can't wait to see the virtual cadaver. Thank you, President.
Krista and Carolyn, is the 3D virtual dissection table working today? I do want to thank Secretary Schultz. She appeared before the Maryland Council of Community College Presidents at our retreat in August and talked about apprenticeship and said that her department has a program that will work for any size college. Well, we decided to test her with the smallest college in Maryland, and we asked if she would be willing to bring her team to a business summit here next month, which she immediately said yes, and we really appreciate that and everything else that you've done for business. So thank you. I'm now pleased to introduce State Senator George Edwards. Senator Edwards represented District 1A in the Maryland House of Delegates for 24 years, including 4 as Minority Leader, before his election to the State Senate in 2006. He's a former Garrett County Commissioner, as well as a former member of the Grantsville Town Council. Please welcome Senator Edwards.
Thank you very much. I don't have a script. I speak off the cuff and have a short sleeve shirt on, so I won't take too long. This is a great day for Garrett College, Garrett County as a whole, and the surrounding area, that we open this new facility. It brings us into the modern age and STEM-related issues. I'm glad to see both of our senators here. As they mentioned, I served with both of them in the legislature. Matter of fact, Senator Cardin was the Speaker of the House when I first got elected a couple years ago. So it's great to see you here. And this shows, and I've said this several times, where we have projects and programs where all levels of government work together to make sure it works. And that's already been mentioned. I want to thank and congratulate all the groups who worked together to make this come to fruition. We used a local construction firm which employed a lot of local people, which is a good thing. to help keep money in the community and recirculating it here. And this is a real nice occasion. If you look around this campus, Garrett College, and look at the facilities, go over here and look, I guess it's this way, the library, which is not that old, modern, updated library. And then going out that way to the Cart building. And how many community colleges have a facility such as that? Then add this facility to it. And then hopefully next year we can start on the next project, which will be a performing arts center. And this institution will have a lot of modern facilities. Now, the facilities don't make the institution, the people that work here do. And we have great, outstanding people who do a good job here. It's good to hear people talk about the scholarship program that was started here. I think maybe the first county in the whole country, I believe, to do this. And the cadaver, I'm not going to go through all the names there, first place in the state. I always like to say the prevailing winds predominantly blow from west to east. So we start things up here in the mountain, and now it's going across the state. So you're going to get all these cadavers and scholarship programs in place throughout the state. If you look at the front of your program here, you see a nice picture with a lot of glass. The glass lets the sunshine in, so you can sit over there and get warm, and don't make a snide remark. We do get sunshine once in a while out here. Not lately, but we do. And this will go a long way in helping everything out. This is, again, it's a great day. Shows that working together at the federal, state, and local level, what we can get done when we can sit down and talk intelligently with each other and get things done. Look forward to the next project we're working on, and just keep up the good work. If I can ever, I just want to say one more thing. If some of you think this is easy, getting this money from the state, it's really not that easy. Delegate Beitzel and I have been working our tail ends off the last several years, and particularly when I look at Frostburg State, we have the president here. You know, we get these lists, and we get on the lists. You're going to get this in this year or that year, until some big donor down east gives University of Maryland College Park a couple $40–50 million for a project that wasn't even on the sheet. They get moved up to the top. Who do they kick down to the bottom? Us out here, because there ain't that many people out here to yell at them. So we decided we're going to keep yelling until we get what we are supposed to get and not get kicked down the road. And that's kind of what happened with this project. It's what happened with the new project that Frostburg State's actually started on and will start construction on next year. So again, thank everybody for being here today, participating. Keep up the good work. If I can ever be of any help to any of you, you know how to get a hold of me. Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure now to introduce State Delegate Wendell Beitzel, a member of the House of Delegates since 2007. Delegate Beitzel is the current Deputy Minority Whip. He's also a former Garrett County Commissioner and a longtime local business owner, having been president of Beitzel Enterprises since 1983. Please welcome Senator Beitzel.
I'm sorry.
Delegate Beitzel.
I promoted you. I haven't knocked George off yet. It's really a pleasure for me to be here today. I'd like to welcome our congressional representatives here also. It's great to see you out here, and I know I see you often, but I do want to mention also that your folks, like Robin and Juliana and Kevin, represent you really well out here, and they work really well with us and the whole community, so we appreciate your staff, even though you can't be here as often as you would like to be. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I grew up a mile and a half from here, just right down the valley. I look around the room and I see so many people that I know and people that have contributed so much to this community. But I want to maybe recap a little bit the progression and the development of this community college. When I grew up a mile and a half from here, this wasn't here. I was helping to farm fields right out the road here. And so Garrett College was established in 1967 as the Garrett Community College. It actually took its present name in 2002. When it was established in 1967, that means we're now 50 years into Garrett Community College here in Garrett County. 50 years of growth here in our small county. In 1968, the Garrett Community College Board of Trustees acquired this site here in McHenry. They acquired this site from Hollen and Jerry Glodfeldy right across the road here. And Hollen and Jerry Glodfeldy had a son named Denny Glodfeldy. He was county commissioner, and he died while in office. And their son Warren now still has the farm over here. I'd like to, give a special recognition to a former county commissioner that was really instrumental in this whole college even coming here, and that was a county commissioner named Dick Paul. And it is said that he even put up money to hold the site when they negotiated to acquire the land, because there was some dissension in the county commissioner ranks at the time that they were talking about building this. Garrett Community College officially opened its doors to students in 1971. In 2012, George had mentioned this, we constructed the Garrett College Community Aquatic and Recreation Complex next door. And all of us that live here, and most of you, everyone here was involved somehow in that. And it provided the first public swimming pool in Garrett County. I mean, we have lots of fresh water and lots of lakes and everything, but this was the first public pool we've had in Garrett County, and that pool's been instrumental in teaching children how to swim, and it's probably saved a lot of lives. I almost drowned in a farm pond when I was growing up. I learned how to swim because they threw me in. Construction is now complete on this new state-of-the-art STEM building, and it is marvelous. We've seen the building that was here before, and you can look around today and see what we now have here. So I'd like to commend all those that were involved in that. The next step in moving forward, of course, George also mentioned this, is the new Performing Arts Center. We have the gym that was abandoned when they built the new Clark building, and that facility and the auditorium is really small for the needs of this community. So our next project will be moving forward with that project. Funding for design and engineering is already in the queue, and state funding for construction will follow shortly. And thanks again, George is just tremendous in pushing these projects. George is kind of modest, but he's been in General Assembly in Maryland now about 40 years, almost as long as the college has been here. So George has been really a voice, a dynamic person to help move our projects along. So I would like to say, and so pleased to be here today, to thank everyone that had a part in this effort that helped make this project come to fruition. And I would commend all that are involved in bringing this project here to us now and today. Thank you.
Before introducing our next speaker, I would like to recognize County Commissioner Jim Heinbaugh and County Commissioner Larry Tichnell. Thank you for being here today. I wish to publicly thank both of you for your commitment to Garrett College and the role it serves in our community. I would now like to introduce the Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, Paul Edwards, who will speak on behalf of the Commissioners. Commissioner Edwards is a former Grantsville mayor and town council member who has also served as president of the Allegheny-Garrett County Chamber of the Maryland Municipal League. Please welcome Commissioner Paul Edwards.
Thank you very much, Dr. Midcap. It's a privilege to be here this morning. It's an exciting day. I guess the benefit and the curse of batting cleanup is everyone's already said everything, so I'll just say ditto. But there are a few points I'd like to reiterate. First of all, I don't know, I'm sure it's happened in the history of this state, but in my lifetime I can't recall, and to illustrate the gravity of what today represents, I don't ever recall both sitting U.S. senators being in our small county at the same time together. So I want to welcome Senator Cardin, Senator Van Hollen to Garrett County. Thank you for coming. They've both been here before. They're not strangers to our county. We appreciate everything that you do, so thank you. I'd be remiss also if I didn't reiterate what Delegate Beitzel said and say that your liaisons out here, Robin and Juliana, do an excellent job of representing you guys out here and representing us to you, and I want to thank them for that. And I think everyone in the room that deals with them would agree with that. Reiterate what everyone else said in the old coach speak in me. Days like today don't happen without a total team effort from our federal team, including Representative Delaney. And Kevin, great to see you out here again as well. Thank you. We all know that Governor Hogan is a great champion of Garrett County, and he's been a great supporter of everything we've tried to do, all the way down to his cabinet. Secretary Schultz, welcome. Thank you for coming. Thanks for all that you've done to make today happen. We also are very fortunate in a county like ours. Most people know our delegate and senator on a first-name basis. I know our senator is a different name. A good name, a good name. But we all know they work very hard, and a lot of things in Garrett County wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the work of these two guys. And then certainly the local level, at the county level, and not just the government leaders and Commissioner Tichenal and Commissioner Heimbaugh and myself, but the people here at the college and everyone else that had a hand in making today happen. So I just want to thank everyone that had an opportunity to work on today to make today happen, and look forward to the next step that Garrett Community College takes moving forward. You know, another thing that was said, most of you know I have the great pleasure to work for Garrett County Public School System. And I know Superintendent Baker and Dr. Nowacek and Dr. Midcap, and those of us that work in public education, and there's a lot of staff in the back, STEM's the word. You know, and it's pre-K to 12, and it's certainly post-secondary. And if you're not dealing with STEM, if you're not focusing on STEM, if you're not investing in STEM, then you're losing. The jobs of now. It's not even the future. It's the jobs of now, and certainly the future revolve around STEM. And at the pre-K to 12 level, where I'm fortunate to work, if you're not investing in it, you're not doing your due diligence, you're not representing your students and preparing them for the jobs that they're going to inherit in the future and provide for their families with. If you're a post-secondary education and you're not investing in STEM, you're going to lose the recruiting battle for students and investment. And I'll reiterate what the senator said. It's amazing if you just step back and think about it for a minute. That I think the smallest community college in the state, Garrett College, has the facilities that they have, and I think it's second to none. I get the great fortune to be able to travel around and visit a lot of these colleges for different meetings, and none of them have a CARC. This building, you've heard all the things that it's going to represent that lead the way. The Performing Arts Center will be the same, and certainly the library. And it's just amazing to think that our county, one of the smallest counties in the state, one of the poorest counties in the state per capita income, one of the smallest community colleges, can put a facility like this together to represent our kids and our future. And that's amazing to me, and I congratulate the college on being able to do that. And finally, I'll kind of reiterate what was said earlier, because we hear a lot in Garrett County, oh, nothing happens out here, nobody out here is doing anything, so on and so forth. But listen to what you heard today. We're the first county in the nation to have a scholarship program that's being duplicated now throughout the nation, not just in the state. Our robotics team that started here, I don't think it was the first one in the state, it was one of the first ones in the state, but they've been invited to the international competition, I think, every year they've been in existence. And now they're being invited not just to other counties in the state of Maryland, but other counties and other school systems in the entire Mid-Atlantic region to present to school boards and high schools throughout the whole Mid-Atlantic in how to duplicate what we're doing here. We're the model. We were the model in the scholarship program. We're the model in robotics. Now you've heard we're the model in 3D cadaver or whatever. And so we just humbly go about our business of being the best and leading the way. And I congratulate everyone in Garrett County for that. So it's a great day here. It's a great day for the college. I think it's only going to open the door for bigger and better things. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thanks again for the whole team to make this happen. And on behalf of Commissioner Heimbaugh, Tichenal, and myself, congratulations to the college. And most importantly, congratulations to the students that are going to have an opportunity to get a top-notch education here. Thank you.
You know, I did want to give a little bit of perspective on the support that we get locally. Many of you know I came from Chesapeake College, which is a regional community college, and I'm not sure I've ever understood the rationale behind this. But when you are a regional community college with multiple counties supporting you, you only have to pay 25% of a capital project. Your little county like Garrett, all by itself with a community college, you have to pay 50% of a capital project. And time after time, our county has done that. So I just really want to, again, note my appreciation for the way our county has supported this college. So thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ching Yuan, Garrett College's Chief Academic Officer. While she makes her way up here, I will mention that she has made it clear that this is really her building, not mine, because it's an academic building. Ching, come on up.
Thank you. It is my great pleasure to represent the faculty to express our sincere thanks and appreciation to all of the people who made this day possible. My special thanks to all the faculty who were involved in every step during the construction process, as well as the moving of the offices and the labs during the summer. Faculty are not under contract. Thank you, faculty. I'm very proud of you. With great pride and honor, I would like to present to you the STEM faculty. I will call your name. Please remain standing. Audience, please wait till the end to applaud. Krista Bowser, Associate Professor of Biology. Carolyn Danica, Professor of Biology. Kevin Dodge, Director of Natural Resources and Wildlife Technology. Tim Foster, Professor of Mathematics. Linda Griffith, Professor of Sciences. Richard Lewis, Assistant Professor of Computer Science. Paul Rashad, Assistant Professor of Electrical Engineering. Jeff Wright, Professor of Mathematics. Peter Skystad, Associate Professor of Natural Resources and Wildlife Technology. There's some other faculty in the audience. Terry, PK, Lucy, can you please stand up? I'm so proud of you. Thank you. Audience, let's give them a applause. Please be seated. Thank you.
Just about 2 weeks ago, Garrett College and the Garrett College Foundation publicly launched a $500,000 fundraising campaign, officially called the Campaign for Garrett Realizing Our Dream, dedicated to STEM-related scholarships and equipment. The scholarship component will help ensure that STEM education is as accessible as possible, while the equipment component addresses the reality that technology in a facility such as this goes from cutting edge to obsolete very quickly, and we want to stay on the cutting edge of STEM in the future. I'm pleased to report we've raised more than half of our goal before the campaign even began. I would like to thank donors who have already made generous naming gifts in the STEM building. Rooms or spaces have been named by the following donors: the Appalachian Regional Commission, the Ashby and Hostetler families, and representatives of the Cayley Hostetler Ashby Academic Achievement Fund at Garrett College, Daily Computers Incorporated, First United Bank and Trust, Mr. Scott and Mrs. Carissa Rodeheaver, Mr. Ron and Mrs. Sherry Krug in memory of Stanley H. and Henry B. Grecky, Dr. Brenda and Mr. Sol McCartney in honor of Garrett College's first robotics teams, Dr. Walter H. Moran, Jr. in memory of Edna Solomon Moran, Garrett Container Systems in memory of Don Moran Sr. and Ruth Moran, Mr. Jason and Mrs. Angie Rush, and Mr. Josh and Mrs. Julie Rush, in honor of Barry and Gretchen Rush by the Rush sons and families. Dr. Rosemary and Mr. Pete Verstegen, in memory of Margaret Brock. I would also like to note that every member of the Garrett College Executive Council, made up of the college's highest level administrators, has already donated to the STEM campaign. In addition, 100% of our Board of Trustees and 94% of our foundation board have already contributed to the STEM campaign in its early stages. I greatly appreciate their commitment to this campaign. On behalf of Garrett College, I want to sincerely thank all of you who have made gifts to what is the most ambitious fundraising endeavor in the history of the college. And I would be a poor president indeed if I did not take this opportunity to ask those here today who value a STEM education and who haven't given to the campaign to consider doing so. If so inclined, and I really hope you are, please consider reaching out to Foundation Executive Director Sherry Krug. Sherry, did I say that the way you wrote it? Okay, thank you. The first Tech Challenge worldwide reveal will be hosted at noon in classrooms throughout the STEM building. I think that's a concrete example of the community use we hope this facility will generate. In addition, I wanted to note that the college bookstore will be open from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. today, located in the 400 building beside the cafeteria, to accommodate anyone who would like to purchase college merchandise. Also, we would like to let you know that there's a free showing of Apollo 13, the ultimate STEM action adventure movie, which will take place in the GC Auditorium at 1 p.m. Also, I've been asked to remind everyone in attendance that the Deep Creek Lake Art, Beer, and Wine Festival will start today at noon and run until 6 p.m. at the Garrett County Fairgrounds. I have it on good authority that many of today's speakers, including both of our U.S. senators, will be guest pourers. You see, I was going to say that, and I thought I'd get in trouble. So, but you can as a U.S. senator. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for attending today's ceremony. I would like to invite everyone into the STEM lobby for our ribbon cuttings. I would like to ask that all of our speakers, along with Superintendent of Schools Barb Baker, Chamber of Commerce Executive Director Nicole Christian, Garrett College board members, county commissioners, and FSU President Nowachik, please head there now in 1 minute for a photo. We'd also like to ask that our STEM donors please also head there to prepare for the donor photos that will take place immediately after the ribbon cutting. Once the photos are finished, everyone is free to go on self-guided tours and visit our faculty for demonstrations and Q&A. I don't know whether you know, but we have a 3D dissection table. And I really would encourage you to see it today. Thank you, everyone, for being here today.